Each of our speakers turned in a biographical information, so we've got all the scoop on all of you. But basically, it's to help us to figure out some things that we can ask that would be of interest to the rest of the group. So, Andrew, it says here that you have interest in sports, football, basketball, golf, travel, and church. Pick one and share a little bit more about what your interest level and maybe a unique experience.
Well, my speech was on smokeless stoves, and it's because I was on a shoebox trip with my church, and the pastor that is leading this work that we're doing down there is trying to build a clinic. So he has this half-done clinic, and he says, come around and let me show you the clinic. And while we're walking around, he says, oh, that's a stove. We're going to put in stoves. We've got an idea. We think it'll work. It's this great big humongous stove. It weighs about 300 pounds. He used to kill us to try to pick it up and lift it. It took an engine hoist to flip it and get it out of the form. But I had seen enough on my trips down there to know that a stove would be a huge improvement. And so it's just one of those, oh, let's go see this, and oh, that's right there. But I just saw it as, that's what I should do, is because I've seen enough homes that have the soot that just sticks to the walls and the smoke that fills the house, and I knew that a smokeless stove would be a huge improvement. So from that point there, we've gone forward with smokeless stoves.
Melissa. Sorry. Missy. Is it Melissa?
Melissa's my given.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay. It says that you are interested in hiking, reading, and golf. Tell us about your golf experience.
Golf is one of those loves that I picked up because my husband was a golfer, and I thought initially that golf was way too slow for me because I was a softball player, so I really didn't start playing golf until after I got out of grad school. But once the golf bug bit me, it got me hard. And I really enjoy golf, and I was a single-digit handicap, which means I was a pretty decent golfer, until we had kids, and I started my Edward Jones business, and now I get out about 5 or 6 times a year. So, but I love to golf.
Thank you. Lisa, you said that you are a webmaster. I'm interested in how you came to choose that as a career vocation.
Thank you for that question. A while back, I worked for Chrysler in Michigan, and one of the downfalls of that occupation was we would get laid off a lot. And now I say downfall because you're on edge. You don't know, if you're going to be working, so you can't make plans and stuff like that, and your schedule is always changing. Well, Chrysler did a really fabulous thing one time, or I think I'm not sure if they're still doing it or not, but they had you do community service so that you could kind of earn your 95% of your pay that you're getting while you're not working. And I loved that. One of the things I did was I sought out a church that I was going to, and I said, what do we need here? And they said they really need a website. And I said, well, I don't know how to do one, but I'll give it a try. And as I gave it a try, I saw, this is so awesome to be able to create something as funny looking as it was, but to be able to create it and put it up there for the world to see. And my love for that just grew. Thank you so much.
Cindy, you had said that you were in adult care services, and I'm interested in how you came to be in that industry, or the evolution, how you got there.
Evolution of Cindy. That's a story.
We've got all that.
I was in advertising, and I know y'all can't believe this because I seem so young, but I was in advertising for 30 years. And, sold and bought advertising and dealt with people who dealt with millions of dollars and frankly weren't writing it out of their own wallets, so therefore it wasn't as meaningful to them. And in the process of doing that, I had a really large time and met a lot of cool people. But I also, as a sideline, was doing some work with seniors on a volunteer basis. I used to take them to doctor's appointments and so forth when I lived in Atlanta. So when we moved back up here to be closer to my parents as they were aging, I decided that I wanted to make a career shift. And part of it was because I wanted to do something different and learn something different. And another part of it was because advertising was kind of going down the tubes. So I decided I would look for a position in senior services, and I started looking on the internet. And I threw it up to the good Lord and said, Lord, here's what I'm looking for. I really would like a job working with seniors. And I would really like to be able to use my skill set of advertising and sales and marketing. And if you could make it in Mooresville, that would be really awesome. And I'm on Career Builder, and bang, up comes this thing. Bell Senior Living Marketing and Sales Director in Mooresville, North Carolina. And I went, really? And I interviewed for the job. There were quite a few applicants, and they had decided at this point in time they wanted to go out of the box. And you all know that you can't go further out of the box than me. And that's how I got my job.
Tom, it says here, notable accomplishments, the Stanford Who's Who Small Business and the Cambridge Who's Who Small Business. Tell us a bit about those two awards and how you were noticed for that particular award.
Sure. Thank you for the opportunity. I actually was contacted by the Stanford Who's Who group back in, well, I guess it was late 2009 or maybe it was early 2010. And I had the opportunity to become a part of that. Now some of those two groups is a bit of a marketing process, but you have to be selected from a group of people in order to be given that honor. And I was fortunate enough that I was selected by the Stanford group for 2010 and 2011 to be part of their small business collection on their website, or to be one of the small businesses that they honored on their website. And they're great networking opportunities, and I had the same opportunity with the Cambridge group, which is based out of New Jersey, to be selected for 2011-2012. So in both of those cases, I was able to begin to network with a group of people and a group of high-level business executives that I never would have had the exposure to if I hadn't been selected for that group, for either of the groups. So that was a real honor for me, and it was a confidence booster for what I was doing in my business and for how I was accomplishing it. And in both cases, the reason that they selected me was because of the unique skill set and the unique services that I offered through my business in multiple industries, through coaching in the motorsports industry, through business coaching, through the public relations and marketing opportunities, and because I had worked with a diverse group that included both young people, students, high school students, and business people as well. So I kind of run the gamut in terms of who my customer base is or who my client base is. So I was able to be selected for both of those groups, and it was very humbling. And I really am excited about those opportunities, and it has put me in touch with business people that I've actually started to build a relationship with and could perhaps someday do business with in one form or another. So they've both been very, very surprising honors, but also very productive ones as well.
Thank you. Lon, it says notable accomplishments. I married Kathy. Tell us about how that came about, and tell us a little bit about Kathy.
Well, Kathy, many of you know her. She's a tiger. She's a go-getter. She's a doer. She's a get-it-doner. And she's a do-it-her-wayer. And when I met her, my secretary told me about Kathy, who they both were working side jobs at a steakhouse, and Kathy was, I lost the word, the person who receives you and sets you down. What's the receptionist, or whatever. Hostess, okay.
Hostess with the mostest.
And so we went by there, and my cousin and myself, who was visiting me from Michigan, went by, and I met her, and then a few days later she came by my business, and I was selling cars, and she came under the pretense of needing a car, and she needed one. She was driving a rattle trap. But when she walked, boom, boom, boom. She was so sweet. She would scratch my back for like 30 or 40 minutes at a time. She would eat ice cream with me, even though I didn't know she didn't really care all that much for the ice cream, at least in the volume that I was eating. But it didn't take me long after I said I do that I knew. I didn't have the kitten that I thought I was getting. But it's been good for me because she's tamed this old wine.
It's the humorous contest.
This is wonderful. I was going to ask, we still have maybe 1 or 2 more minutes. Does anybody have any questions for any of our speakers or anything like that before we present our awards?
Do they know the next level contest? Date and time?
Yes, the next level contest is the area contest, which is on Saturday, March 31st. Still looking for a venue. I know Grace Covenant is wonderful. They probably allow us to have it here, but I think they're looking to have the division contest at this location. So we kind of want to pass around the wealth and the opportunity to others. So location to be determined, but the next level contest is the area contest, and it's March 31st.
And how does that relate with the participants in this contest?
So the first place participant, the first place finisher moves on, but the second place finisher needs to be at the ready because if there's any reason, for whatever the reason may be, that the first place finisher cannot participate, then the backup participates. And that will then our 5 clubs will be sending a speaker for each of the contests to continue onward.
And in that case, would that be international speech contest and the tabletop
Yes,
as well?
both.
Yes, okay.
And
So the pressure's on.
do they do the same speech or?
Yes, they
Like
they do the same speech because they're practiced, and then that moves them along. And just as the next thing, the division contest is April 14th. It's a Saturday, April 14th, and I think it probably will be at this location. So they win down the field and keep competing forward. International contest is a big deal. Barney, have you ever seen it, the international contest?
Oh, all the way to the top, yeah. I've been there half a dozen times. The World Championship of Public Speaking. That speech winner from the state of North Carolina, the winner that goes all the way to the district, will be flown to, this year will be at, where's our international this year?
Was it Vegas last year?
It was last year in Vegas, yeah.
Well, if we had known that, we would have had a whole lot
But the winner for the state will go and they compete at the international convention prior to the finalist, because now there's all the input of all the Asian clubs, the Pacific Rim, all those are bringing so many people forward from Dubai and from other parts of China. So what we end up doing is we had to have some pre-competition. The finalists or the World Championship of Public Speaking is an honor beyond all championships. And when you see, you can go and take a look at the ones who do win. You can check yourself out and check on those winners. They are absolutely impeccable. Hardly ever can you say that you hear a number 10 speech with no ums, ers, nothing. These are perfection. They're absolute perfection. You've got to be at that level. So when you rise to the level of your presentation for international speech at this level, you keep learning and learning and learning, and you have audiences give you feedback. So the winner that goes all the way to the States will be in May at the Great Wolf Lodge. Okay, that will be the winner for all the divisions. Will be there in the state. And now we're sitting with 12 divisions, so you compete with 11 other people throughout the state of North Carolina on that stage, the Great Wolf Lodge in May. So everything applies throughout the 115,000 or the 11,000, now almost like 13,000 clubs in the world now. They're all doing exactly the same thing. They're all doing exactly what we're doing right here. They're all getting contestants ready to go, and they're getting ready to win. And they'll be coming to, gosh, I just had a blank about where it's going to be this year. No, it's not going to be in Atlanta. Oh, it's going to be in Miami. It's going to be in no, it's going to be in Florida. It's going to be near Disney World. So we'll be there. And I tell you what, even if you don't win, to go to these level contests, am I right? You learn so much. You see such fabulous speeches. Now, you know for sure that you've got to be on your A game the day of the competition. Now, there's some people who have absolutely fabulous speeches, do exceptionally well, and have something happens, just one thing happens on stage, they're out. I mean, that's how stiff the competition is. But it is so good to hear them, so good to learn something from them, and you learn something every time you hear a good speech. It's like we did today.
Marty, how many go from the Great Wolf Lodge? Just one?
One. That one person will be flown to Florida.
One for each contest.
Yep.
All right. Well, now is the time of our award-winning participants. And we'll start with table topics. Our second place winner for table topics was Lon Henna. And our first place table topics winner is Cindy Colvin.
I'm going with a lion.
And for our international competition, our runner-up is Andrew Williamson. And lest the suspense should kill you, our first place finished, Missy Carlson. Laura Lee and I both owe a great deal of thanks to all of our contestants, to our judges, our timers, and our ballot counters. You all have been a crucial part of making our contest today happen. Thank you for all that you have helped us to experience and learn. I owe a special thanks to Laura Lee because she has done a great deal of the heavy lifting. Thank you for letting me ride your coattails. We look forward to our next regular meeting next month at this time. So we'll look forward to seeing you then. We are next week or next month. Next week. Next week was what I thought. So we are adjourned.